In the law of one cosmology, we have our basic framework, metaphysical framework for creation, which is the three distortions: free will, logos, light. And the logos, it is hierarchical, fractal in nature. That is, it is nested at different levels of experience. So for example, we have the galactic logos that has the creative power of the one infinite creator to establish basic rules. For example, polarity. Polarity as a basic necessity for experience to occur. The basic duality of the masculine and the feminine. The seven densities of consciousness. The octave structure of the universe. Those are creative principles and creative constraints set in place by the galactic logos. Now, the stars, including our star, the sun, they are a sub-Logoi relative to the galactic logos. They cannot play around with the seven densities or polarity, but they can, within the limitations or the constraints of this structure, they have an infinite potential, creative potential for many other things. Like, for example, the archetypical mind. The archetypical mind, we could say, is a kind of a operating system that determines how we experience and how we develop and how we go about the journey of self-knowledge. That is the archetypical mind, and is set in place by the sun or other stars. So the archetypical mind will be different in different solar systems. And again, the sub-sub-Logoi of the planet, same thing, different hierarchy. So it has the same creative principle. It is a logos, but because it is at a different place in the hierarchy, it has more constraints. Within those constraints, the planet cannot play around with the densities or the physical laws set in place by the sun, or the zodiac, the metaphysical structure put in place by the sun, but it can play around in infinite ways with the biodiversity of the planet, for example. And then the same thing can be said for us as sub-Logoi of the planet. We have the same divine creative principle of the one infinite creator. Like other logoi, we are constrained within the limitations, within the creative structure of the seven densities, and in our case of the archetypical mind and many other things. But within it, we have the same creative power, the same infinite creative principle of creation in our lives, and of meaning and meaning making in our lives.